Hey everyone, Jason Schapper here of MzeroA.com, and today I want to share with you how to become a pilot. Whether you just want to become a private pilot for recreational or hobby purposes, or want to be a career pilot, you need to start with what's called your private pilot certificate. And I want to work you through those requirements and how to save some money on your flight training, and more importantly, give you some next action steps. The thing I want you to realize going into this is it's not as difficult as you may seem. However, the stats are there a little bit to scare you. By that I mean 80% of students who start their training unfortunately don't finish. We're on a mission to help get that number down. We want everyone who starts their training to finish. And I believe why this number is so high is because people don't take the time to educate themselves. You're already at a huge advantage because you found this video and you're taking the time to further educate yourself. So let's start and let's talk a little bit about some of those basic requirements. First and foremost, you need to be at least 16 years of age to solo and 17 years of age to actually earn your certificate. Now, you can start your training at any time. I was very fortunate. I actually started my first flight lesson was at 12 years old, as crazy as that sounds. You can start your training, start your groundwork, and even your flight training at any time, but it's 16 years of age to solo, 17 to earn your certificate. Now, in your actual flight training, you need to accumulate a minimum, an FAA, Federal Aviation Administration minimum of 40 hours of flight time. Within that 40 hours, you need to have 20 hours of instruction. 20 hours flying with an instructor. That's you in the left seat, the pilot seat, and your instructor in the right seat, the co-pilot seat. 20 hours of instruction, doing your flight maneuvers, working on cross-country flight plans, all that sort of stuff. Now, you need 10 hours of solo time. This is you as the sole occupant of the airplane. Your instructor stays on the ground, and this is what we call your big solo. Well, you'll do multiple solo flights, usually around 10 of them, to add up those 10 flight hours. You'll go on trips to different airports. You'll stay in your local area. You'll work on your flight maneuvers, all within that actual solo time. Now, you'll notice that 10, that 20, that only adds up to 30 hours. The FAA is anticipating that you're going to need more instruction time. You're going to need more solo time to add up to that minimum of 40. Now, keep this in mind as well. The FAA has a minimum of 40 hours. Yet, I'll tell you, the national average is around 65 hours when students finish their training. More on that later, and more on how we can save some money and get that number down closer to that FAA minimum. You also need to take and pass an FAA written test. This is a multiple choice test. It's 60 questions, ABC, multiple choice type answers, and you've got 3 hours to knock out that test. You go to a computer testing center and do that. There's about $100 testing fee, and you need to be endorsed in your logbook to take that test. Now, we can actually give those endorsements in our online ground school. More about that in a bit, but I find a lot of students, and I was this same way, I had no clue there was even an FAA written test that I had to pass. I thought I'm ready to become a pilot, and they say, wait, you've got to take this written test. And then, wait, you've got to do this. Again, you already have such a huge advantage because you're learning about these requirements so early on. And then lastly, we need to pass our FAA check ride. This is done with what's called a Designated Pilot Examiner, a DPE for short. They sit in the right seat, you sit in the left seat. You go up and you demonstrate your ability to them. They either say yay or nay on you becoming a private pilot. Now, what can we expect to pay for all this training? Well, first off, it really depends on the aircraft you choose to fly. If you want to fly in a brand spanking new 2016 Cessna 172, well, you're going to pay a premium for that than if you fly in an older model Cessna 172 or an older model Piper aircraft of some sort. Expect to pay around $7,000 to $10,000, but here's what I want you to remember. It doesn't matter if you did it in that brand spanking new Cessna 172 or that older Piper Cherokee 140. You all get the same certificate at the end of the day. It doesn't say, oh, he or she did their training in this aircraft. You all get the same private pilot certificate at the end of the day. So maybe use the aircraft to save a little bit of money in that case. Also, let's talk about that now. How can we save some money on our flight training? Well, I'm famous for saying, learn everything you can on the ground. We've built an entire business around that actual model. Find yourself a ground school. We happen to have the #1 rated online ground school right now, the MzeroA.com Ground School Academy, where you can save a ton of time and money. I talked about $7,000 to $10,000 on your training. Our students on average save around $1,500 on their training because they learn everything they can on the ground first. And you don't have to be in Florida where we're at. You can take our online ground school anywhere on your iPhone, your iPad, your computer. Listen, you enjoy our YouTube videos. They're short, they're sweet, they're to the point. Our online ground school really dives deep into each and every topic. It has the FAA written test prep, the check ride test prep. Let us be your mentor and your flight coach on this flying journey, because the online ground school is a community where you get to interact with myself and our great instructors and really dive deep into these topics. The idea is you enjoy the YouTube videos, you're going to really enjoy the ground school videos, mostly because we dive so deep into these topics and give you everything you need to know to save money and be a safe, proficient pilot, which is so important. Quick little fact for you. Last year, 77% of check ride applicants, check ride's your big final exam, passed their check ride. However, 99% of MzeroA.com Ground School Academy members passed their check ride last year. All because we have that crazy pass your check ride or we'll pay for it guarantee. That's about a $500, $600 guarantee depending on where you're at geographically for taking your test and taking your check ride. What's your next action step? I wrote a book. It's a free book called The Private Pilot Blueprint. You can find it at privatepilotblueprint.com. All I ask is that you pay $6.95 for me to ship it to you. The book is totally free. The book is written on the premise of, if I could do my flight training over, what I wish somebody would have told me. It talks about everything from common student pilot errors, what to expect on your first solo, your written tests, what makes a great flight instructor, what makes a great flight school, and we go over that in great detail. Let the Private Pilot Blueprint and MzeroA.com and our #1 rated Ground School Academy be your flight coach and be your roadmap to getting you to your private pilot certificate and beyond. Guys, if you have any questions, feel free to ask us on MzeroA.com. If you have questions before you purchase this or before you become an online ground school member of groundschoolacademy.com, check all out. There's links to everything I mentioned underneath this video as well for you to check out. Don't hesitate to ask a question. Enjoy the rest of your day, and most importantly, remember that a good pilot is always learning. Have a great day, guys. See ya.